All right, so let's continue with our discussion on this, and I'm joined by Dr. Alex Awiti from the Aga Khan University. Dr. Ari, it's good to have you again with us here on KTN News. Any surprises? I mean, were we surprised?
I'm not entirely surprised, but I was surprised by the amount of zeal that our government put into this bid. I think everything diplomatically was indicating that Kenya was very unlikely contended for
but
this.
there was support from all the COMESA countries. You know, there was the shuttle diplomacy, 10 countries, 7 countries in 5 days.
I think we were diplomatically naive. We didn't read the body language. It was easy for us to shuttle and go to the state capitals and state houses and speak with the heads of state. But I don't think we had their commitment. It was basically, yeah, you guys wanted so much and you're here, so we'll just meet and greet. But if you look at the whole constellation, the whole arrangement, you know, Chad had the chair.
Yeah.
And Kenya had the deputy AU chair. And I don't think that it was going to be feasible for an AU, for Amina to actually become the AU chair when Kenya was just the deputy chair.
Okay,
if you look at the arithmetic around that. And I think Idris Deby also did tremendous lobbying. And we should not have discounted that.
Interesting in some of the countries that maybe we'd have assumed would pledge support and stand with Kenya. And now, you know, we're taking a look at who voted in what way. You know, what does that say in the relationship going forward, especially in the East African region?
I think with Uganda not supporting Kenya, that must have been at the very last end of the, maybe in the 7th round.
Burundi in the beginning, yes,
in the 7th round. And I think maybe, you know, there was probably a lot of backroom conversations. And it's also interesting that Ghana didn't support Kenya because Ghana wanted the deputy chair. So I think we didn't kind of really navigate that horse trading space, look at what we can give, what we can take. But I think one of the things is also apparent. In my view, I think Kenya was asking for too much. We had got AU support to push this ICC situation. And I think to go back and ask for the big prize was asking for too much.
All right, let's move it forward a little bit to this man over here who's on our Super Bowl tonight, the man who is now at the helm of the African Union Commission. So, you know, what's his entree? What's his top priority? What are the challenges he's going to be facing in this role?
Well, we're just coming to the end of the strategic plan for the AU Commission, 2014-2017. And we're now waiting for Kagame's report, which is really an audit and basically to see, and it's an imperative to build our union, to build a stronger union. That's what Kagame is building this to be. And he kind of got all the big guns behind it, Kaberuka, Strive Masiwa, he got Carlos Lopez and all these guys to come and help push that effort. But it's not the first time that we've done this. Adebayo Adedeji also led an effort to do an audit. And all these things were shelved because the political will wasn't there. Now, the question is Kagame going to push this? And what is the political goodwill by the member states? But also, what is the state of the bureaucracy at Addis, the technocrats who work on these things? Are they going to sit there and take orders from distant political masters? So that's what he has to wait for his charge. And that his charge is going to be derived from the Kagame report, which basically is going to give him the tools to start moving. But his position is, from jump, very much constrained.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to appoint the senior people that he has to work with. They're given to him by the heads of state. And of course, this tremendous dysfunction at an organizational level at the African Union Commission.
All right, and of course, one of the roles of the African Union Commission is to manage the budget and the resources, and funding is a big question, isn't it, by the member states?
Absolutely, and Kagame is actually now pushing for a budget of $1.2 billion a year, to finance AU operations effectively. Now, we know
we make that target?
The state of default is horrific. Most of these governments actually don't pay their dues. And during the debate, that came out very, very clearly. And all of these candidates were trying to think about ways to raise money, ways to convince and persuade African states to actually honor their commitments to AU. So fundraising will be a huge obstacle. And so we'll see how he tries to figure that out while also rebuilding a new organization that is fit for this century.
Right. He's taking over from Dr. Dlamini Zuma. What would you say is her legacy? And, you know, we know there's been talk of her going back home to South Africa to possibly be president after her ex-husband, Jacob Zuma, current president of South Africa. So he takes over from her. What would you say has been her legacy at the helm of the AUC?
Well, it's kind of mixed. And in many ways, a lot of people think that she was not successful. She was probably sitting there waiting to become president of South Africa. And I don't know to what extent this role at the AU Commission has prepared her for the big job in South Africa. And I don't think she'll be remembered for much. I think during her time, we saw the collapse of the South Sudanese peace process. Burundi kind of melted into chaos. And it's not been very effective. The AU, the Africa Peace Commission, peace process in Somalia has been faltering. So I don't think she basically pulled her weight. And I don't understand what the constraints were, especially with corralling the heads of state to rally behind an agenda. And thank God.
But some would say under her Agenda 2063 as well. So you're talking about it being a mixed bag, isn't it?
Well,
focusing on women and the role that they play on the continent.
No, that's true. In terms of creating a coherent vision, that's there. But she didn't pull her weight behind putting resources and an effective organizational structure behind delivering Africa 2063.
Okay, all right. And of course, you made an interesting comment about whether this job has prepared her for possible presidency in South Africa. I mean, we'll wait and see whether South Africa is ready for another Zuma.
We'll wait and see.
Especially considering Zuma's, current tenure.
Well, she has the excuse of being the ex-wife, so that's okay.
Okay, I suppose that works. Thank you very much. Dr. Alex Awiti, he's an expert on East African and African affairs, indeed, from the Aga Khan University. We always thank you for your time and your great insights with us here. Now, I want to focus